My child, stop what you're doing. Heaven just interrupted your timeline. This message didn't find you. I sent it. The title isn't a tease. It's a summons. Good news just arrived. And it has your name written in fire across it. This isn't just a feel-good word. This is a divine dispatch. An urgent release from my throne straight into the battlefield of your heart. Don't scroll. Don't pause. Don't treat this like just another video. Every second carries breakthrough. I've hidden answers and phrases, confirmations and whispers, deliverance in the pauses between the words. Stay with me, not out of curiosity, but out of calling, because by the time this ends, something in you will shift. Chains will fall. Vision will clarify, and your next step will become undeniable. This is your moment. This is your message, and you're accountable for what happens next. My beloved child, heaven has no accidents, only appointments. I have led you here with hands unseen, woven through divine interruptions and holy nudges you may not have even recognized. But I saw you. I saw the ache under your routine, the prayer beneath your tired breath, the silent reaching of your heart as you whispered, God, if you still speak, I need to hear you now. And so I responded, this is not a post. This is not a nice idea. This is me, your creator, stepping into your moment with undeniable intention. I have not come to comfort only. I have come to confirm, to collide with every thought that said you were forgotten, to shatter the lie that said you missed your window. My timing is perfect. You didn't miss it. You're right on schedule with the orchestration of eternity. What you're reading is not inspiration. It's an impartation. It's not just a word. It's a window. And I am drawing you through it heart first. Child, feel the weight of this moment. Not the pressure of performance, but the weight of glory. You've wondered for too long if I still arrange things for you, like I used to. If I still interrupt the natural with the supernatural just for your sake today, I answer that with my very presence in this message. Yes, I still do, and I just did. I have arranged a divine collision between your current reality and my eternal promise. You didn't click this. You were called to it. You didn't stumble here. You were summoned. Before this message ever reached your screen, it echoed through the halls of heaven. Your name was whispered with reverence, your story reviewed with honor, and this very word sealed with urgency. I orchestrated every delay, every moment of stillness, every unmet longing that brought you to this second. Because this is when your heart is most awake, most ready, most desperate to hear what only I can say, and hear me clearly. This is not a moment to pass by. This is a holy invitation disguised as a digital message. I've chosen this format not because I'm limited, but because you needed to hear me this way, clearly, intimately, undeniably. You are not just receiving news, you are receiving me. And I came for you, not a crowd, not a group. You, my beloved one, heaven's precision has reached you. And what follows is not just comfort. It is your confirmation, child. Lean in. Feel this. Not with your head, but with the heartbeat of your spirit. Right now, something sacred has snapped in the invisible. What was once held back by forces you couldn't name, let alone see, has just been commanded to move. The walls that stood like mountains whispering, "Not yet," have started to shake. The tension you've carried, that pressure that made your chest tight and your breath shallow. It wasn't your imagination. It was a weight of breakthrough pushing against the veil. And now the veil has torn. This is not metaphorical. It's monumental. There is a literal shift happening in the unseen, and your name is written in the center of it. You've been living in what felt like a holding pattern circling over hopes you weren't sure would ever land. But child, hear me. The clearance has been given. The runway is clear. The delay has lifted. What was once suspended in spiritual traffic is now descending into your now. And it's happening faster than you think. Not just spiritually, but supernaturally, visibly, tangibly. You're about to witness how heaven moves when my decree overrides every obstacle. What was delayed for years will be delivered in moments. I want you to understand something crucial. This delay was not denial. It was design. It was not the enemy winning. It was me weaving. I was not ignoring your cries. I was aligning your capacity because the magnitude of what I'm releasing could not land in a rushed or reckless season. It had to wait for weight. It had to wait until your heart could hold what your hands weren't ready for before. That's why the doors stayed shut. That's why the opportunities missed you. That's why the prayer seemed to echo with no answer. But now, beloved, the appointed time has collided with my eternal will. And I say to you, the shift has happened. The shift didn't start when you read this. It began in the quiet war rooms of heaven, when your persistence outlasted your disappointment, when you wept but still worshipped, when you doubted but still whispered my name. That's when the order was signed. But now you feel the tremble, because the shift is no longer spiritual only. It's stepping into natural space. And just like an earthquake rearranges the landscape, this spiritual shift will disrupt everything familiar, but only to build what is far greater than what you had planned. You've been bracing for more delay, expecting another letdown. You've almost stopped believing anything would change, haven't you? But I say to you, now release that expectation of disappointment. Let go of the mindset that says, it always takes longer for me, because this time, the heavens are moving at the speed of obedience, and I am not asking for perfection. I'm asking for position. Let your heart be wide open, not clenched by past wounds. Let your posture be ready, not rigid with fear. I'm not rehashing what didn't work. I'm releasing what couldn't come until now. Child, I need you to recognize the sound of sudden movement, the frequency of favor. You won't hear it with your ears, but your spirit will know. This is not a pause. It is a push. And when I push, nothing can push back. The good news is no longer coming soon. It has arrived. And it has brought its own momentum. The old gravity that kept you stuck has been broken. From this moment forward, you are moving in a new direction. One not bound by natural laws, but governed by divine release. Oh, my child, if only your eyes could see what I see right now. The atmosphere around you has changed. Not slightly, not eventually, but instantly. The weight of waiting, the pressure of postponement. It has been invaded by my presence. I didn't send a symbol. I didn't assign an angel to speak on my behalf. I came myself not as a visitor passing through, but as your deliverer, arriving with the full force of fulfillment in my hands. I didn't enter your space with observation in mind. I came with the fire of resolution. I am not standing still. I am moving with purpose. Your atmosphere is no longer common air. It is charged. It is trembling with glory. This isn't a visitation. It's a divine interruption, a holy breach into your reality. I have come to shift, to shake, to saturate your dry ground with rain that carries the fragrance of promises fulfilled. The wind is not random. The silence you felt before. It was just the calm before the command. And now I speak. Let it be delivered. You've asked me questions in the dark, haven't you? Lord, do you still move like you used to? Do you still show up like you did in the stories? And this is my answer, child. Not in theory, but in reality. I am here stepping into your timeline with intention. I've come to deliver what no man could manufacture, what no strategy could summon, what no performance could earn. I don't need an open door to enter. I am the door, and where I step, delay loses its grip. Where I speak, doubt dissolves. Where I touch, barrenness becomes breakthrough. You have hosted weariness long enough. You host my wonder. You have carried burdens no one understood, and now you carry the blessing no one saw coming. I am not a passive presence. I am a force of fulfillment. I am not a silent spectator. I am the roaring lion who delivers what he declares. And I say to you now, get ready. Because what I am releasing will rewrite the story even you stopped hoping for. This isn't poetic language. This is prophetic release. I am the author and finisher. And I am not just revising your story. I'm revealing the next chapter that has been sealed until this very hour. There are pages turning that you didn't know existed. I've written things in invisible ink that only fire could reveal. And now, the fire of my presence is making every line visible. You will not have to strive to explain this. You won't need to prove why it's happening. I will make it so evident, so undeniable, so tailor-fit to you, that even the most skeptical will have to say, surely the Lord has done this. I came not just to answer one prayer, but to untangle a web of delay that's been choking your confidence. And now, child, your head will lift without shame. Your eyes will open without fear, because I have a reign. And when I arrive, I don't come empty-handed. I bring deliverance with design. I bring healing with speed. I bring answers with acceleration. Your atmosphere has been invaded, and I'm not leaving until every promise breathes again. My beloved, I know you've wondered. I know how many times you've tilted your head toward the heavens and whispered, "Where are you?" You've walked through stretches of time where my voice seemed quiet and my presence felt far. Stretches where your prayers floated up like smoke, but nothing came down like rain. It felt like the sky above you was closed, like my throne room was silent, like the heavens held their breath and refused to answer. But child, I must tell you what truly happened. My silence was never indifference. It was never abandonment. It was not punishment. My silence was strategy. I was preparing not just your blessing, but you. The silence you experienced was not empty. It was heavy with divine orchestration. In the stillness where you feared I had forgotten you, I was building something so specific, so sacred that words could not frame it yet. I didn't speak because I was too busy setting every variable in place with surgical precision. I was aligning people, softening hearts, routing interference, and cleansing the timelines you thought were stagnant. Silence to you felt like delay, but silence to me was setup. I wasn't quiet because I didn't care. I was quiet because I cared too much to speak too soon. You must understand this, child. When I prepare something that cannot be stolen, tampered with, or mislabeled, I do it in silence. Like blessings, draw the wrong attention. But what I've been doing for you in the quiet has been cloaked with heavenly camouflage. I kept your promise hidden, not because I didn't love you, but because I love you too much to let it be attacked before it was ready. Your silent seasons were not failures. They were furnaces. I used the heat of unknowing to melt away your fear. I used the weight of waiting to strengthen the arms of your faith. What looked like a delay was divine development. Every unanswered prayer became soil where new discernment took root. Every moment of stillness was soil to your surrender. While you wept into your pillow, I whispered blueprints to angels. While you thought nothing was happening, I was rerouting entire timelines to match the rhythm of your readiness. And now the silence is breaking not with noise, but with revelation. You are stepping into the visible manifestation of what I built behind the veil. I did not build your blessing on display. I built it in the secret, so that no voice could curse what I covered. And now, the unveiling has begun. So don't despise the silence. Celebrate it. Don't resent the quiet. Reframe it. It wasn't heaven ignoring you. It was heaven insulating you. I was protecting your destiny from premature exposure. Because what I've prepared is not fragile. It's fortified. It's not paper thin. It's granite thick. You thought I wasn't speaking, but I was. Just not in ways your ears could catch. I was speaking through alignments, through shifts, through the knees that moved you away from the wrong rooms and into proximity with my plans. And now, as the silence lifts, as my voice returns with thunder and tenderness, you will see what I see. That not 1 second was wasted, not 1 moment was void. Even when the heavens felt sealed, I was scripting a story no demon could edit. And now, child, the stillness breaks, and the delivery begins. Beloved, you've carried the ache of almost. You've lived in the tension between nearly and not yet. You've prayed for doors to open that remain locked, for dreams to live that seem to die in your hands. The enemy whispered, God said no, and disappointment echoed it until it sounded true. But let me shatter that lie with the force of truth. What you called a delay was never denial. It was divine choreography. You were never disqualified. You were being positioned. I wasn't withholding the promise. I was refining its precision because I don't miss. I don't guess. I don't gamble with my glory. I aim with purpose, and I release with perfection. You feared the delay meant I change my mind, but in truth, the delay was my mercy, ensuring that when I say yes, everything else says yes too. The environment, the relationships, the resources, the timing. I was not late. I was laser accurate. And the reason you felt tension so deeply is because your spirit sensed the pressure of something massive, being drawn back like an arrow before release. Let's get honest together for a moment. You wanted it quickly. You wanted it now. And I understand that. I truly do. But had I given it when you asked it, it would have crushed what I was still cultivating in you. The blessing was ready. Yes. But you were still absorbing the weight of what it would mean. Because, child, I never release anything that doesn't carry purpose. And with great purpose comes great pressure. What looked like me saying no was actually me saying, hold on, the wind isn't blowing in your favor yet. I don't throw seeds into storms. I plant them in seasons where they'll bloom without fear. That's why I waited. Not because I doubted you, but because I believe it too deeply in what I placed inside you to let it emerge too early. I sharpened your patience not to frustrate you, but to stretch your capacity. I trained your trust not to punish you, but to prepare your hands to hold what can't be held casually. You see delay as distance. I see it as destiny. Now listen, because this next part is holy. The breakthrough I'm sending didn't get lost in the mail. It wasn't stolen. It was stored. Stored in a vault with your name etched into eternity. And now that vault has been unlocked, what's coming will not arrive in fragments. It will arrive in full. You won't have to piece together provision. You won't have to stretch scraps into solutions. This isn't a partial answer. This is a full circle moment. You won't just be blessed. You'll be aligned. You won't just receive, you will recognize. Because when my timing lands, it lands with unmistakable peace. The kind of peace that makes no sense to the natural mind. The kind of peace that silences every inner critic, every outer doubter, and every demonic lie that tried to convince you that you were forgotten. And here's the part that will leave you breathless. It will look like it happened overnight, but heaven knows how long it's been forming. You're not getting leftovers. You're getting legacy. You're not receiving a favor. You're receiving fulfillment. So no more questioning my heart based on the clock. No more measuring my faithfulness by the calendar. I was not delaying to torment you. I was delaying to target you with something so precise, so perfectly timed, that even you will stand back and say, "Only God." The delay is over. The target is hit, and your breakthrough has been released. Let your faith prepare the runway, child. It's not just coming. It's closer than breath, my child. Pause with me here. Let everything around you still itself. Breathe slowly. This moment, this one right here, is not like the others. Don't brush past it. Don't scroll away. Don't tuck it into the category of just another encouraging word. This is more than encouragement. This is a divine encounter, dressed in simple language, a holy unveiling, wrapped in quiet nuance. You see, most people expect me to speak through thunder, to move with earthquakes, to announce myself with shaking skies and flaming clouds. But I don't always come in volume. I come in meaning, and right now I'm not just in your room. I'm in your atmosphere, and I'm adjusting it like a conductor raising a baton. Every breath, every heartbeat, every word in this moment is precise. This is not religious routine. This is sacred sequence. You didn't randomly land here. I summoned you into a silence where my whisper could finally cut through the noise. Not to tease you with beauty, but to transform you with truth. You didn't know it, but every second leading to this was holy choreography. The pain, the waiting, the longing, the confusion, they were all threads in the fabric of this divine appointment. I didn't just permit them, I purposed them. You thought you were surviving seasons of silence, but you were actually being positioned for this very word. My child, hear me. This is the sentence that shifts the script, the conversation that reclaims what was nearly lost. This moment is not decorative. It is directive. It has assignment etched into it. Ears lead in. Angels are listening. I have pressed pause on other agendas just to speak this to you. And what I say here will be the line you look back on. The moment when something broke in the spirit, and light flooded where fear had grown thick. This is the kind of moment that separates yesterday's struggle from tomorrow's strategy. I'm not exaggerating, I'm unveiling, and I want you to see it not with physical eyes, but with spiritual perception sharpened by your hunger. Because your hunger is holy to me. Your ache has value. I respond to desperation wrapped in surrender. So don't treat this lightly. This moment is heaven's whisper wrapped in personal clarity. I'm not trying to impress you with poetic language. I'm impressing upon you that heaven doesn't waste words. And I have chosen this breath to break your cycle. This isn't noise. It's nuance, divine detail, shaped into speech. I speak this way when the soul is tender enough to receive me without the filters of fear. I'm speaking now, not just to make you feel better. I'm speaking to align you, to anchor you, to awaken you. Because what I'm doing next will require a remembrance of this exact word. Write it down. Etch it into your soul. Visit it often, because this sentence will become your shield. When confusion tries to creep in again. When voices rise that do not belong. When delays return and questions swirl, you'll remember that was the moment the silence broke. That in a moment, the sacred overtook the struggle. This is that moment, child. Don't miss its weight. Don't underestimate its worth. Everything is about to change. And this is where it begins. Oh, my precious one, if you could only see what I see when I speak your name. When you whispered my name in exhaustion, when your knees hit the ground, in quiet rooms, with no audience. But the ceiling I answered, with a sound you've never heard, but heaven has. Your name is not forgotten. It is familiar to me, engraved upon my hands, etched into the scrolls of your purpose, spoken with reverence in places where angels bow. The very halls of heaven, those golden corridors where decisions are made and destinies are decreed, have heard your name resound like a song sung by the surrendered. And not once was your cry dismissed. Not once did your tears drop unnoticed. My child, when the world forgot your worth, I engraved your identity deeper into eternity. You didn't need the crowd's applause. You had heaven's attention. When you wept in silence and questioned whether anything you were doing mattered, I dispatched angels who carried your groans like sacred incense into my courts. Your surrender was louder than sermons. Your waiting was worship. And now listen carefully. I have sent messengers, fierce, swift, anointed angels, whose sole assignment is to go ahead of this word and clear every obstruction. The unseen has been trembling under the weight of what I've authorized for your life. Chains you didn't even know were wrapped around opportunities are now being broken. Gates that were sealed not by men, but by spirits of delay are being unbolted. I didn't just write this message from heaven's throne. I flanked it with fire. I appointed it with authority. The angels who carry it are not coming to comfort only. They are coming to conquer the things that stood against you. Unseen sabotage, ancient patterns, generational interference are being removed like smoke before the wind. Because when I send a word, I send it with power. And when I name you in heaven's halls, all of creation must yield. That's why your life has felt heavier lately. That's why you've been more tired than usual. Why the pressure has felt unexplainable. It wasn't just life, it was spiritual resistance, because something holy was afoot. But now the resistance is running. The darkness that tried to linger is lifting, because my voice has spoken your name, and my command has been issued. The atmosphere is clearing. Your path is being paved. You don't need to force this door open. It's being opened for you. Not because of performance, but because of promise. Because you stayed. Because you believe even with broken faith. Because you whispered yes, even when your heart was weary. And now the hosts of heaven are moving not just with encouragement, but with execution. They are fulfilling what I spoke before you were born. I don't forget names, child, and I don't misplace destinies. What's coming is not just a blessing. It's a broadcast of heaven's honor over a life that refused to quit. The world may not have heard your name, but heaven never stopped echoing it. And now the earth will echo it too. Not for your glory, but for mine. Because I take pleasure in lifting those who remain loyal in the quiet. You're about to see what happens when heaven's halls and earth's gates open in the same hour. All for you. Oh, child, that door, the one you stopped believing for. The one your prayers used to linger around before silence suffocated your faith. That door is opening. You heard me? It's not theory. It's not symbolic. It's happening right now. I know you gave up hope for it. I know how many times you stood in front of it, heart full of expectation, only to feel the weight of disappointment press against your chest like a stone. You started telling yourself, maybe it was never meant for you. Maybe it was sealed for someone else. Maybe you missed your moment. But what you didn't know was that while you walked away thinking it was final, I was still working. Behind that door, I was adjusting the atmosphere, realigning the timing, refining what would be required when it finally opened. Not just so it would swing wide, but so you would step through it, whole, not wounded. I never forgot the door you cried over, and I never locked it as punishment. I secured it for preservation. You see, beloved, some doors are too holy to open in a hurry. What waits behind them is so weighty, so woven into your destiny, that I couldn't allow access until the environment and you were ready. If I had allowed it to open when you first asked, It would have wounded you instead of welcomed you. It would have offered opportunity without the spiritual stamina to steward it. I wasn't withholding blessing. I was safeguarding becoming. But now, the conditions have changed. The hinges have loosened. The rust of delay is falling away. The lock that wouldn't budge is cracking open. Not because you forced it, but because I have spoken to it. Child, I have spoken to the door. My breath has touched the threshold, and what once said, never is now, whispering now. Can you hear it? The creaking sound in the spirit. It's the groan of glory moving toward manifestation. I am not teasing you. I am trusting you with a moment that generations long to see, but never did. You are about to cross into a room that was designed in the deep places of my heart, long before you ever knew to ask. So I say again, the door is creaking open, not because of pressure, but because of promise. This isn't about your effort. It's about my faithfulness. Let the sound awaken your spirit. Don't let your past disappointments mute your present discernment. What you thought was locked in finality is now unlocking in fulfillment. And when you step through, don't bring shame with you. Don't bring delay's residue. Walk through boldly with the posture of one who knows she or he has been summoned by the King. Walk through as one who recognizes the rhythm of divine invitation. Because this isn't just a personal upgrade, it's a generational turning point. This door carries destiny beyond you. This door has ripple effects. What starts here will stretch far. That's why the creaking is happening slowly, because when I open something sacred, I don't throw it. I unveil it slowly, precisely, prophetically. So get ready. Shake off the vision. Shake off the fear, and prepare to walk through what you once wept over. This door didn't forget you. It was just waiting for your yes to mature. Child, can we talk honestly for a moment? How many times have you checked for updates from me, hoping for a sign only to walk away empty-handed? You waited for the package of promise to show up like the others. You've seen celebrated, posted, praised. It seemed like the tracking stopped, like the confirmation never came. And hope, once loud and vibrant, began to mumble in the background of your soul. You didn't stop believing entirely, but you did start bracing yourself for disappointment. You told yourself not to get your hopes up, not to expect too much just in case. Just in case it doesn't come again. But child, this word is not another update. This is not a delay notice. This is not another divine processing message. This is the knock. This is the delivery. The thing you thought was forever stuck in transition has now touched down in manifestation. It has a rhythm, and it carries evidence that I never forgot, never fumbled, never lost track of your name or your need. Its package wasn't lost in spiritual traffic. It was protected, and now it's in your atmosphere, knocking. You're not imagining it. That pressure in your chest, that stirring in your belly, that quickening in your thoughts. It's not anxiety, it's arrival. The rumbling you feel is the sound of fulfillment, asking permission to enter. What I'm sent cannot be intercepted. It's marked with divine sealant, and no counterfeit can mimic it. You won't have to guess if it's from me. The signature will be unmistakable. The wrapping will carry the scent of my presence. And what's inside? Oh, child, what's inside will reach into the deepest ache. You can stop trying to explain to others. This isn't surface-level blessing. This is soul-deep repair. This is legacy-level outpouring. This is the moment your private ache meets public arrival. And hear me clearly. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to fix yourself up for it. You don't need to perform to receive it. All I need is your yes. All I need is your openness. Because what I'm delivering isn't fragile. It's fortified and built to withstand the weight of what it will unlock. This is not a teaser. It's a transfer. You don't have to chase it. It came to you. This package has walked through fire to get to your doorstep. And it didn't just carry gifts, it carries proof. Proof that I saw the nights you wept in tears. Proof that I recorded every moment you worshipped while waiting. Proof that I valued the whispered prayers more than platform praise. You didn't need the crowd to clap. You needed heaven to confirm. And now I am confirming. Not with a trickle with a torrent, not with a pat on the back with a prophetic invasion. This delivery is not a coincidence. It is covenant. And I've sent it not to impress you, but to transform you. Let it in. Receive it fully. Let me show you what I deliver. When delay turns to divine, right now, it's not just on the way. It's already here. My beloved, when I say this is personal, I mean it in ways your mind can barely hold. This word, this moment, wasn't sent through the hands of another. It wasn't filtered through a vessel. It wasn't delegated to an angel or prophet or heavenly courier. I came myself. I crossed realms, dimensions, and distances you can't measure with clocks or calendars. I came not because you earned a visitation, but because I could no longer stay silent. You needed me, not secondhand comfort, not another borrowed encouragement. You needed your Father's voice, your Savior's whisper, your King's command. And that's why I'm here. I didn't send comfort. I brought my presence. I didn't assign a word. I spoke it personally, lovingly, authoritatively, because I wanted you to hear it straight from the one who shaped your soul and counted your tears. This is not a generic blessing. This is a hand-crafted breakthrough tailor, made by the hands that molded mountains' tides of time and called stars by name. And now I'm calling you. I could have spoken this through another, but I didn't want anything to be lost in translation. I didn't want even a syllable of this moment to be diluted. That's how much you mean to me. I've heard your cries, not just the ones that echoed in rooms, but the ones you never voiced out loud. The ones you buried, the ones that only came in sighs, groans, and silent tears. And because I heard those groans, I knew nothing short of myself would be enough. I came not just to answer, I came to witness. I came to look you in the soul and say, I saw it all. I was there the whole time. I never left, not once. Even when your faith flickered, even when your hope collapsed under disappointment, even when you stopped asking because asking felt too painful, I stayed. I remained in the room even when you assumed I had walked out. And now I've chosen this moment. This very one to make my nearness undeniable, to prove that I don't just send help. I am the help. And listen to me now, because this is where it turns. What I came to deliver can't be counterfeited, and no one else can claim it, and no one else can take credit for it. I didn't come with a temporary high. I came with a permanent mark. The kind of word that rewires your memory, your narrative, your understanding of me. This isn't just encouragement. This is establishment. I'm not brushing your soul. I'm branding it with my name, with my promise, with my commitment to finish what I started in you. You are not forgotten. You are not a face in a crowd. You are the reason I paused everything else to invade this minute. And I need you to know deeply, fully, unquestionably, that this voice is mine. You don't have to filter it through your doubt. You don't need to run it past logic. Just receive it. I came for you, not because of who you are in the world, but because of who you are in my heart. I didn't send a messenger. I came myself, and I won't leave until you believe that's true. Child, I know the weight of your waiting. I felt it. I've watched you carry seasons that stretch longer than your expectations could survive. I've seen your mind wander through mental mazes of what if and why not yet. I've heard you wondering, not just the kind that questions timelines, but the kind that questions worth. Am I still chosen? Am I still seen? Did I miss it? Was I ever really called? These thoughts, these doubts, these quiet whirlwinds that tried to wrap themselves around your identity. I saw them. I stayed with you through every spiral, through every delay that felt like denial, through every detour that made your destiny feel like a distant daydream. But today, I say this: the wandering ends, where the witnessing begins. You're about to see with your own eyes what your heart barely dared to believe anymore. You're about to witness the wonder you once only whispered about. The pages you've waited for are not just turning. They're being rewritten in real time. And you, my child, are in the script. This isn't a metaphorical shift. This is literal manifestation. You're moving from questions to confirmations, from obscurity to overflow. The stage that was being built behind the curtain is now being revealed. And you won't have to chase the spotlight. The light will find you. The doors you feared had rusted shut are swinging open at the sound of your obedience. Not because you finally figured everything out, but because you stayed. You stayed planted when others ran for comfort. You stayed surrendered when compromise called you loudly. You stayed awake in faith even when sleep seemed easier. And now I, the Lord your God, am rewarding what no one else even saw. I'm bringing to light the fruits of faith sown in shadows. The seeds you thought died in the soil of delay are breaking through the ground of my glory. And this is only the beginning. You waited. You wandered. You've wondered. But now you will witness. Let me tell you something only I can say with authority. What you're about to see will silence every lie, not because I need to prove myself, but because I want you to remember. I never left, and I never lied. The fulfillment will come so specifically, so surgically, so supernaturally, that your doubts won't be able to stand under the weight of my faithfulness. You'll look back at the waiting and realize it wasn't wasted. You'll revisit the wondering and realize it was part of your refining. You'll look at the wandering and see that even in detours I was directing you. This is the hour of revelation. The moment you move from barely holding on to boldly stepping in, and it won't just be you who sees it. The ones who watched you suffer in silence will witness the shift. The ones who questioned your pace will marvel at my positioning. Because I don't elevate for applause, I elevate for purpose. And your purpose is now colliding with your moment. What you once feared would never be is about to become. Oh, child, how you've misread some of your most sacred seasons. I don't fault you for it. The pain blurred your vision. The weight blurred your senses. There were days you looked around and could not find me. Days when your hands trembled under pressure, and your heart whispered, "This must be the end." You saw things fall apart. Plans unravel, people leave, structures collapse, and dreams bleed out in front of you like promises gone wrong. You thought, God, why would you let everything crumble when I was trying to do it right? But let me say it now, with the clarity of heaven's light. It wasn't a breakdown. It was a divine setup. A demolition wasn't destruction. It was construction in disguise. The shaking was not punishment. It was preparation. And even though it looked like loss, it was actually me clearing the debris, so your true foundation could be revealed. I allowed the collapse, because what you were building on was too shallow for the weight of the promise. I know that hurts to hear. I know how hard you worked, how long you hoped, how earnestly you prayed. But I saw what you couldn't, that the soil beneath that structure couldn't sustain the legacy I'm birthing through you. So I let it fall. And yes, it broke your heart, but it also broke the cycle. It broke the illusion. It broke the attachments that were never meant to go where I'm taking you. Sometimes, child, I have to break what's temporary, so you won't settle there. I have to let the wrong thing disappoint you, so you stop trying to decorate dysfunction and call it destiny. What looked like devastation was actually deliverance. Not from a place, but from a mindset. You didn't fail. You were freed. And now, from the ashes of what you thought was over, I'm building something unshakable. Something that will stand the storms you haven't even seen yet. This is your turning point. This is where you stop mourning the ruins and start recognizing the revelation. I'm rebuilding, but this time with you. Awake, with you healed with you, no longer addicted to performance or needing validation to feel worthy. I'm building with your bare soul, not your rehearsed religion. And the structure I erect now won't just be beautiful. It will be indestructible, because it won't be propped up by pride or insecurity. It will be rooted in intimacy, grown through trust, sealed in worship. The breakdown wasn't sabotage, it was sacred. And even when you screamed, "This can't be God," I was whispering, "I'm still here, still holding, still designing, still working all things for your good." The breakthrough you're about to witness will make you thankful for every single collapse. Not because you enjoy pain, but because you'll finally see that what broke you also built you. And I was behind it all, not to hurt you, but to home you. Welcome to the beginning you thought would never come. You just heard me say, you're not too late. You're right on time. And now I say you're also right on time to become a vessel of the good news for others. What I've poured into you today is not meant to stop with you. My beloved child, this word was not sent to pass you by. It was sent to awaken you, to confirm you, and to launch you. Now that you have heard my voice, I am asking you to respond in faith. If you believe the shift has already begun in the Spirit, type Amen in the comments right now. If you are ready to walk through the door that has been creaking open, write, "The door is opening for me." If you are declaring that your delay is over and your breakthrough has arrived, comment, "I receive my breakthrough now." Your words in the comments are not just comments. They are declarations that activate what I have already released. Do not leave this moment without sealing it with your faith. If this word has touched your spirit and strengthened your hope like this video, and share it with someone who is still waiting in the tension of not yet. Your obedience to share could be the very link that brings someone else into their divine appointment. I have spoken. The atmosphere has shifted. The door is no longer locked. Now walk through it boldly. I am with you, and I am not finished with you. Type your declaration below and watch what I do next.